Alright, welcome back. This is video number 5 on the oil on canvas. Now when I said this was tedious, that may have been an understatement. Let me show you where we're at here. I don't know how well you can see this with this camera that I've got. I'll review it in a minute, but what I'm doing is just I'm transferring, as I said, we gridded this. We talked about that already. Transferring the image from here to this board, grid square by grid square. Alright, we're just beginning to get the image on here. Now once you get the image on here in pencil, then you got to start to paint it. And it'll change, and then while you're painting it, you've got to, of course, you're going to cover your pencil. You've got to constantly be adjusting that. So your color scheme and everything is gonna change. It's quite a process, and it's time consuming, and it's tedious, and it requires attention to detail. Doing this, transferring this image to another spot requires a great deal of attention to detail. You gotta, not only, I mean, here's an example. Let's see, can you see her face crosses grid line number 3 right here, right? Here's grid line 3, so we'll, grid line 3, right? So, not only you gotta look on grid line 3 where that it crosses, but where? How far down grid line 3? Halfway, quarter of the way. So now you've got to estimate that, because you didn't break these grids down. Now, like as I said, you can break these grids down into smaller, into sections of 10, which would make it, I don't know, it would cause you a great deal more work, and it's not that necessary if you can estimate. But you've got to estimate throughout this process exactly where on these grids your lines are. So military guys, it'll be easiest for them to do it, because this is a way we navigate using grid squares, and it works exactly the same way. Instead of being, you could point to a military guy and he could give you a grid for this, you know, using these letters and numbers. He could tell you, if I said, you know, find a dimple in her chin, a military guy would be able to give me a grid for that, you know. So it'd probably be easier for military people. But anyway, yes, it is a tedious process. And we're just now beginning to transfer the image, and as I said, we're just beginning, because there's a lot of detail that we got to transfer. And then if I have the space, I don't know if I will, I'm going to add something to the right side of this. So anyway, hopefully you can see that, and this is video number 5. Oil on canvas. Thanks for stopping in.